To all those kids that are at my Discord buddies locals that seem to have claimed me, love you too. Oi guys, what's up? Today we're back in the professor's office on my room. Yeah. And we're here for another deck discussion video. So today we're talking about arguably, not really arguable at all, to be honest, the best deck of the format, Tri-Brigade Zoo. Before we go on, I just want to say I highly appreciate if y'all go to the comments and tell me what you want to see next for the deck discussion videos, or even other content that you would like me to record for you. While you're down there, do please make sure to hit that subscribe and the notification bell so you guys can see my content in the future. But without further ado, let's get on to how the deck discussions work. Now, as far as my deck discussions go, if you haven't seen them before, there'll be a little card up here for you to go check out the rest of them, and just look at them for the future as well. They're broken down first by discussing the important cards, then we go through the pros and cons of the deck, and then followed by a deck profile and a replay today of the deck in action. But without further ado, let's get on to the card discussion. Okay, first off, if you haven't read the Tri-Brigade cards or the Zoodiac cards before, I highly suggest you do that beforehand so you can understand the deck fully. First thing about Tri-Brigade though, the main deck monsters all have the same effect of you can banish any number of Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monsters from your graveyard. I'm going to, from now on, say beasts instead of all three of those, just so you know. And then you can special summon one beast link monster from your extra deck equal to the link rating of the number of banished beasts you used. So if you banish two beasts off their effect, you summon a link to beast. But you can only use beasts as link material for the rest of the turn. So just keep that in mind. So this implies two things. First, the monsters summoned by this effect aren't properly summoned. They're summoned improperly and therefore can't be resummoned off of things like Monster Reborn or Tri-Brigade Revolt, for example, which is a big one. The second thing is that it's very easy to cheat out strong link monsters without actually link climbing. So you can just summon a link 4 really easily in the deck. Now onto the actual monsters. Tri-Brigade Nerval, when he's sent to the grave, he acts like a Rhoda for the other Tri-Brigade monsters, and he adds them to hand. Kit, when sent to the grave, she sends any brigade card, so it could be a spell, trap, or monster, which is really nice to send Nerval or Rendezvous to the graveyard from your deck. Fractal, he sends himself and pitches a level 3 or lower beast from your deck to your graveyard, which is really nice in some interactions, especially with Lyralusk, but we don't even bother with that part. Karis is your brick name. Basically, he discards another beast from hand and special summons himself. Now, for the best card in the deck, Revolt, it special summons a number of beasts from your graveyard or banished pile to your monster zone. They all have to be able to be properly summoned though. So like if you want to use a link monster, it has to be properly summoned beforehand. Same with Xyz, any extra deck monster. But anyways, you use those monsters, special summon them, and then link summon, like an actual link summon this time though. This link summoned monster is properly summoned, which is important. As for our links, we've got Farajit, which lets you special summon a beast from your hand. When she just goes to the graveyard, it doesn't matter how. You can draw a card and then put a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. It's nice for fixing hands, and if you draw things like a driver, you can just put it back in deck and you don't have to worry about it. Bearbrum lets you pitch 2 cards from hand to special summon a banished level 4 beast. It special summons it and you can use its effect. It's a neg 2 play, so you don't use it very much. When Bearbrum goes to the graveyard, you can activate her effect to search any Tri-Brigade spell or trap, but then you have to send 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck, and you're locked into Tri-Brigades for the rest of the turn. Rugal is your least useful one, but he's also very useful. He special summons a beast from your graveyard during your opponent's main phase. It's very nice for triggering off Shuraig during your opponent's turn if you already have both of them on the field. And it also recovers resources because it adds that card to the hand at the end phase if it's still on the field. Shuraig banishes on summon or when something else is special summoned once per turn. It's non-targeting, non-destroying removal every turn, which is freaking pog. When he goes to the graveyard, he searches any beast whose level is equal to or less than the number of banished beasts you have. So if you have 4 beasts in grave, you can search a level 1 through 4 beast from your deck. It doesn't matter the name of that monster. It can be any monster, which is amazing in all senses. If you haven't read the Zoodiac cards, or Rescue Cat, and all those things, I suggest you take the time to do that. It's very important, but it's not important enough for me to cover in this video. But yeah, let's move on to the pros and cons. Okay, so now some pros include that this deck is basically a lot of 1 or 2 card combos, and it makes things really easy to go off. It has a lot of high impact cards because of that fact, and it's got a lot of room for flex spots in the deck, which is very nice when you want to include hand traps, at least like 12 to 15 of them. The deck is also very easy to spam the board with really strong cards, which is very, very appealing to most people. Some cons include it loses to things like Veiler, Lancia, and Imperm, which are pretty prevalent cards now because Brigade is the best deck. It also prevents us from using resources effectively. Every normal summon is very dependent on resolving their effects. And the graveyard is a very useful resource, which it's dependent on also. So like if we can't use our resources, we lose. The other thing is if you only draw 1 Tri-Brigade name, like say you only draw Nerval for on your turn, like opening hand, it's really hard to go off. You basically have to Almirage pass and set a bunch of back row or hope your hand traps are enough. Overall, it's still one of the strongest decks of the format, and Revolt and Zeus makes the deck insane. Access Code as well, Shuraig as well. Like, it's got a lot of power cards, but yeah. Onto the deck profile. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is the deck profile. I personally think it's a pretty standard deck profile as far as I'm concerned. You can see the general ratios of 3 Kit, 3 Frack, 3 Nerval, and 2 Karis, along with 3 Zoodiac names, and Zoodiac Barrage with the 3 Tenki. For our flex spots, we ended up using triple Solemn Strike, Called by the Grave, Imperm, Ghost Bell, Droll, Ash Blossom. The most high impact cards of the format that we can play, along with Imperial Order, because apparently spells are really good, if you didn't know. I play Desires instead of Pot of Prosperity, or just no pot at all, because it adds you 2 more cards, and theoretically, if you banish 1 or 2 names, it's no big deal, especially after you've done everything you can. It really does help you, like, extending even further. It is a +1 for you, despite all the jokes of Pot of Neg 9, usually by the time you're using Pot of Desires, they've already ashed, so you don't usually have to worry too hard about being hurt by this. And usually you don't banish 10 or like even more than 4 names, which is even a rarity on its own. We played triple Revolt just because it's that good, and even opening it, like Kit plus Revolt equals Shuraig. You just normal summon Kit, go Almirage, Kit send Nerval, Nerval search Frack, Fractal send itself into any name, and then you have 4 materials in graveyard, so you can disrupt on your opponent's turn, which is optimal. As for the extra deck, I think it's pretty standard there. I definitely recommend playing pretty much that extra deck completely when playing this deck. As for the side deck, I'm not going to explain too hard other than the fact that Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries on Shuraig is broken in the mirror match. If you can take away the opponent's Shuraig, it leaves them basically with Appaloosa, Access Code, and Zeus as their power moves, and even Ancient Warrior's Oath, which is very much weak when we're talking about like turning off their revolt completely from being anything dangerous other than searching, I guess, with Nerval every turn. Like, it really, really hurts the power level of Tri-Brigade when they don't have access to Shiraeg. But other than that, we're done with the deck profile. If you have any questions about it, you can ask me in the comments below. Okay, guys, so I win the RPS in this match. It's going to be Tri-Brigade versus Flundreeze. If you don't know what Flundreeze do, I highly suggest you check them out before they come out in Bode, which is in November, I believe. Otherwise, let's get on to the match. So I'm going to open up with Desires, and that's because I don't want them to ash my Tri-Brigade name, so I'm baiting it with that. I didn't banish anything really relevant, so I'm going to normal summon Kit here after they ash me, and then I'm just going to go into Almirage, activate Kit, search Nerval, use Fractal's effect, and then set Revolt after I have 4 names engraved. I mentioned that earlier, didn't I? So now he's going to open up with Robina. That's their Rhoda of the deck. And he's going to search. I'm going to end up using Droll on it, and he's going to end up normal summoning the barrier statue after. He's going to just poke, and I can't actually do anything with Revolt now because he summoned the barrier statue, so that was a little mistake on my own part. But I open up another Droll, but the only problem is I can't do anything about that, so I have to just scoop. I'm going to go first again. This time I open a way better hand, so I'm going to start with Fractal, send Nerval. Nerval's going to search Karis, and then Karis is going to just sit in hand. I'm going to banish 2, use Farashit, and then summon Rugal. Karis is going to activate special summoning himself, and he's going to banish for 2 to have the Ancient Warriors, and then 2 sets with Appaloosa. So it's a pretty solid board, not gonna lie. He's just gonna start using pot cards, like why not? And then he's gonna search for the field spell. He's gonna use the field spell, reveal Stritch, banishing the spell, and then normal summoning Stritch. I'm gonna negate with Appaloosa. I'm gonna judgment his Robina normal summon, and then I'm gonna revolt at end phase, chaining Ancient Warriors to revolt because you can. And then I just win there. He's going to open up going first with D-Shifter and then Terraforming and Duality. So he opens into Robina. He's going to use the field spell, revealing Robina, banishing Eaglin. Eaglin's now going to chain block with Robina, and he's going to get the Eaglin, which Empen is a thing, and he's going to normal summon Empen, adding Robina back to hand, and searching Scary Sea. He's going to set 3, and then I'm going to activate Evenly because I'm really good at this game. Skillful card. Then I'm going to just pass because I have nothing else. He's going to use Robina, and I'm going to just imperm him. Now I normal summon the Borbo, and then we just go into Zeus from there. And at this point, he can't do anything about a Zeus because the deck is just so fragile. I'm going to hit him with a Droll, and then he's going to just pass turn after that. So from here, he just goes to defense. I'm going to use Zeus, blow up his board, and then poke for 3k, and then just pass. He's going to try going into stuff. I'm going to Droll him again from here, and he's just going to end up being able to do nothing after I Zeus him a second time. I'm going to summon Kit, which was any name could have ended up winning me this, but any name with 4 materials and with 3 materials engraved was just like a free access code, and that was 8,000 damage. Actually, if I drew any other name, I didn't even need to use their effect. I could have just poked for anything and it would have won. Kit was just 100 short, and I needed to use her effect there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the replay. Thank you to my buddy Eve for he didn't let me, but for giving me this replay that we had together. And yeah, Now, thank you guys all for watching. If you guys have any suggestions on what you want to see next, please let me know. How do you think about Tri-Brigade? What do you think about this build? I personally love it. I've been winning with it like crazy lately, and it definitely, hands down, is the best deck of the format in my opinion. It surpasses Drytron in all senses, personally, and it can 1-for-1 so easily. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Hey guys, I just wanted to say one last thing. If you want to check out one of my more popular videos, that would be the video on the left. And if you want to check out one of my more recent videos, that video will be on the right. I will see you guys soon. Peace.